From the clash of ancient shields to the roar of modern artillery, humanity's story is etched in conflict. Every battle, every skirmish, every strategic masterstroke has carved its mark upon the world we know today. We will journey across continents and centuries, from the deserts of Kadesh, where chariots once thundered, to the muddy fields of Europe, where empires were won and lost. We'll explore the pivotal moments that shaped nations, the brilliant tactics that turned the tide, and the incredible sacrifices made on the front lines. This isn't just about dates and names, it's about the pulse of combat, the weight of command, and the human stories behind the greatest struggles in history. Welcome to Battles Through History. Subscribe now and prepare to witness the past come alive like never before. They called it the City of David, an eternal fortress built on a holy promise, home to the irreplaceable Temple of Solomon. For centuries, it stood as the defiant heart of the Kingdom of Judah. Yet, in the year 586 BCE, Jerusalem faced the ultimate reckoning. This isn't just a story of a battle, it's the story of a brutal 2.5-year siege, a total annihilation, and the devastating birth of an exile that would change history forever. Picture the scene: a sprawling, intimidating view of the most powerful military machine of its time, the Neo-Babylonian army encamped around the ancient, sun-baked stone walls of Jerusalem. We're talking tens of thousands of soldiers, Babylonians, Chaldeans, and likely contingents from conquered territories like Moab and Ammon. They're clad in bronze helmets and scale armor, a sea of hardened warriors operating massive siege towers and battering rams that relentlessly pound against the city's defenses. In the foreground, dusty, heavily armed troops tighten the chokehold, ensuring nothing gets in and no one gets out. On one side of these walls stood the desperate Kingdom of Judah, led by its last king, the rebellious Zedekiah. He had broken his oath of loyalty to Babylon, pinning all his hopes on a promise of aid from Egypt, an intervention that would never materialize. On the other side was the unstoppable tide of the Neo-Babylonian Empire, commanded by one of history's most formidable rulers, King Nebuchadnezzar II, as Hittite. For Babylon, the goal was simple: crush this final pocket of resistance on the western frontier and make an example of Jerusalem that would echo through the ages. This wasn't a swift, decisive assault. The siege lasted nearly 30 months. Nebuchadnezzar's strategy was methodical and cruel: slow, surgical starvation. His forces encased Jerusalem in an iron ring, cutting off every supply line, every source of food and water. Day by day, week by week, the city withered. Inside the walls, the initial defiance gave way to unimaginable suffering. Hunger became the primary enemy, a silent predator stalking every street and every home. It thinned the ranks of the defenders far more effectively than any sword or spear, sapping all will to fight. Imagine the darkness inside the city. Gaunt, starved Judean civilians huddle in doorways, their faces etched with despair. A once proud defender, now in tattered leather armor, clutches a bronze sword, his eyes hollow with exhaustion and hopelessness. Smoke drifts through a newly breached section of the wall, a grim omen of the inevitable end. The city that was once the jewel of Judah had been reduced to a living tomb, its people forced into abject poverty and despair. Then, in the summer of 586 BCE, after 2.5 years of relentless pressure, the breaking point arrived. The Babylonian engineering, their siegecraft, and their sheer numbers finally overwhelmed the exhausted defenders. The walls were breached. What followed was not a battle, it was an extermination. Nebuchadnezzar's top general, Nebuzaradan, the chief of the executioners, was given a brutal command: annihilate the heart of Judah. Show no mercy. The city was systematically plundered, its homes were set ablaze, and the very foundations of Jerusalem's defenses were leveled to the ground. The sack of the city was total. And at the heart of this inferno was the ultimate prize, the first temple. Built centuries earlier by King Solomon, it was a wonder of the ancient world, a masterpiece of cedar, cypress, and gold, and the sacred center of the Jewish faith. Now it was a raging pyre. Flames licked up the gold-covered walls, consuming centuries of history and faith in a single, violent night. Babylonian soldiers swarmed its holy steps, looting its treasures and carrying away its sacred golden vessels to be displayed as trophies back in Babylon. The destruction of the temple was more than just a military victory for Nebuchadnezzar. For the people of Judah, it was a theological catastrophe, a sign that their world had truly ended. The fate of Judah's leadership was sealed with equal brutality. King Zedekiah, the last king of Judah, was captured while trying to flee with his family near Jericho. He was dragged before Nebuchadnezzar, and the sentence was final and unbelievably cruel. In a display of ultimate power, Nebuchadnezzar forced Zedekiah to watch as his own sons were executed before his eyes. Immediately after this horrific sight, Zedekiah himself was blinded, ensuring that the last thing he ever saw was the death of his lineage. Bound in bronze chains, the sightless king was then dragged off to Babylon to live out the rest of his days as a prisoner. This act marked the beginning of one of the most significant events in Jewish history, the Babylonian exile. Nebuchadnezzar didn't just destroy the city, he surgically removed its soul. The elite of Judean society, the priests, the scribes, the artisans, the skilled craftsmen, the entire ruling class, were rounded up and deported. This mass deportation effectively ended the independent kingdom of Judah. Picture this final, tragic scene: a vast, endless line of Judean captives, men, women, and children, being marched eastward by armed Babylonian guards. They trudge across a desolate, sun-scorched landscape, walking away from their homeland forever. On the distant horizon, a faint column of smoke still rises, the last ghostly trace of their ruined city, Jerusalem. It is a scene of massive displacement, of profound loss, the end of a nation. But history is rarely so simple. While the kingdom was destroyed and the temple lay in ruins, this was not the end of the story. From these very ashes of destruction and the despair of exile, something new and incredibly resilient would begin to rise. Forced to live without a king, a temple, or a homeland, the people of Judah would reinvent their identity. Their faith, once centered on place and ritual, would transform into a faith centered on sacred text, memory, and community. The Babylonian exile, born from the total annihilation of Jerusalem, would paradoxically forge the foundations of modern Judaism. The city fell, but its people and their story would endure. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey back in time. If you found this story as powerful as we did, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more deep dives into the pivotal moments that shaped our world. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you for journeying with us through the echoes of history's most pivotal battlefields. We hope this exploration into the past has been as insightful for you as it was for us to create. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please show your support by hitting that like button. It truly helps us out. Share this video with any fellow history buffs you know, and if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel, Battles Through History, for more epic tales. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we march into our next chapter. We love hearing from you, so drop your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, keep the spirit of exploration alive.